All right, let's jump right in. Today we're diving into something super interesting, a 2025 report on AI and how it's transforming retail and CPG. I mean, you can really see it everywhere you look nowadays. What really struck me, though, was how AI is not just like a fancy add-on anymore. It's like the foundation the whole industry is being built on.
Yeah, it's pretty remarkable, right? It's not just changing one specific part of retail.
Right.
This report shows how AI is becoming a core part of everything from like online shopping to physical stores, all the way to those complex supply chains behind it all.
Yeah, the numbers in this report were actually kind of mind-blowing. Did you see? 9 out of 10 companies are already either using AI or actively checking it out. That's huge. And get this, more than half of those companies are using AI for like 6 different things or more. It's not just one department experimenting. This is a full-blown AI takeover.
And the interesting thing is, it's not just some kind of hype-driven trend. The results are really there. A whopping 87% of companies using AI say it's boosting their revenue.
Yeah, and not just by a little bit either. A quarter of them are seeing increases of over 20%. But wait, it gets even better. Almost every company surveyed, like 94%, said AI is helping cut operational costs. And again, over a quarter of those are saving more than 20%. So it's like a double win, more growth, A&D, lower costs.
Yeah, and you know what's cool is that AI is making a difference beyond just the big picture of revenue and costs. The report highlights this study on using AI for loss prevention. Retailers saw a 374% return on investment. Can you believe that? And get this, that translates to an average saving of $88,000 per store every single year.
Whoa, okay, now that's impressive. So it's clear AI is here to stay, it gets results, and it's being used in so many ways. But this report kept mentioning generative AI as like the next big thing. What's all the buzz about with generative AI?
It's a pretty big leap forward in AI, actually. I mean, it's getting so much more powerful and accessible. You see, it's not just about data and predictions anymore. Generative AI can create stuff like content and even personalize experiences, automate things in ways we never even thought possible.
You know what, for our listeners who might not be totally familiar with it, could you give us a quick rundown of what generative AI is and why it's such a big deal for retailers?
Sure. So generative AI basically is all about creating new content, right? It
Yeah.
learns from tons of data and then uses that knowledge to generate things like text, images, even videos. So imagine a fashion retailer, right?
Yeah.
They could use generative AI to come up with unique descriptions for every item, or even like create personalized marketing emails with visuals tailored to each customer based on their style.
Wow, okay, now that's some next level stuff. The report says 82% of retailers are already using or looking into generative AI. And get this, over half of them already have it up and running in their business.
Yeah, and what I find really interesting is that over 60% are already using it for marketing and content creation. That tells me retailers are seeing the value right away. They're crafting these brand stories, engaging with customers,
Hmm.
and ultimately, yeah, boosting those sales.
And it doesn't sound like a fad that's going to fade away either. The report said 93% of retailers are planning to invest even more in generative AI this year. That's a pretty clear sign that they believe it's going to be big for the industry.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Generative AI is just going to get bigger and more important in the next few years, no doubt. But it's not the only place where AI is shaking things up in retail. The report dives into some really cool ways AI is being used for both online and physical stores. I mean, it's basically changing the whole shopping experience as we know it.
Let's start with digital retail then. What's happening online that's really pushing the boundaries? The report hinted at some pretty cool innovations happening there.
One of the biggest advancements, I'd say, is in those personalized recommendations. We're moving way past those generic, you might also like suggestions, the ones that always feel kind of impersonal and off base. Imagine getting recommendations tailored to your current mood, even the weather, or what you've been doing on social media.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. No more random stuff clogging up my feed. AI can take personalization to a whole new level by looking at like way more data points, right?
Exactly. AI is amazing at analyzing huge amounts of data and finding patterns that we humans would miss. The goal is to really wow the customer, make them feel like they're understood. Build a real relationship through these personalized experiences.
You know what else caught my eye in the report? The multilingual chatbots. This isn't like those old school chatbots with their canned responses, right? We're talking AI assistants that actually understand you, answer complex questions, and even give tailored advice. And all this in multiple languages. It's like a whole new level of customer support.
Oh, for sure. It's a game changer for retailers who want to offer seamless support 24/7, no matter where their customers are or what language they speak. This kind of AI-powered support can really boost customer happiness and build loyalty.
Yeah, totally. But AI isn't just changing the digital world, it's also bringing that smarts to brick and mortar stores. What really stood out to you about how AI is being used in physical stores?
Well, one of the most impressive applications is definitely in inventory management. AI can help retailers optimize their stock levels, predict demand, even automate the whole replenishment process. So, those frustrating moments when you go to the store and the shelves are empty? AI can help prevent that, which is a win for both retailers and customers, right?
Oh, yeah, I've been there. It's super annoying. Plus, AI powered inventory management could save retailers tons of time and money. But the report goes even further. It talks about AI analytics actually transforming the in store experience itself.
Absolutely. Think about sensors and cameras that can track how customers move through the store. They can analyze traffic patterns, identify those hot spots where people linger, and all that data. It's super valuable for retailers to optimize store layouts, product placement, even staff scheduling. It's all about creating a more efficient and enjoyable experience for everyone.
That's amazing. It's like bringing the power of online analytics into the real world.
Mhm.
Retailers would have this real time feedback to fine tune their stores for maximum impact.
Oh, and there's this really cool thing called adaptive advertising that I saw in the report. Imagine digital displays that actually change the ads they're showing based on who's walking by, like their demographics, past purchases, even their mood.
That's incredible. Talk about targeted advertising. That takes personalization to a whole new level.
Exactly. AI can make sure those ads are relevant and engaging so they actually work.
Okay, so we've talked about digital and physical retail, but there's another huge area where AI is making waves, and that's the supply chain. I have
No,
to admit, I find the whole idea of AI-powered logistics super fascinating.
Oh, it's an area where AI is becoming absolutely crucial. The report says that 59% of retailers have seen supply chain issues getting worse in the past year. Global disruptions, rising costs, labor shortages, all that stuff. It's a tough landscape for retailers trying to get products from A to B.
Yeah, for sure. And with the boom in online shopping, customer expectations are higher than ever.
Exactly. Everyone wants things fast and convenient. But AI is perfectly suited to tackle these challenges. The report shows how retailers are using AI for everything from forecasting demand and optimizing inventory to planning the most efficient routes and even managing risks. It's all about making the supply chain smarter, more efficient, and ready to adapt to anything.
What about the more futuristic stuff, like using robots in the supply chain? What did the report say about that?
Oh, that's where it gets really cool. Imagine smart warehouses where robots are picking and packing orders. You got autonomous forklifts moving pallets with pinpoint accuracy and AI-powered loading docks. This isn't sci-fi anymore. It's happening now.
Wow, that sounds incredibly efficient. So it's clear AI is changing every single part of retail, from online shopping to physical stores and everything in between. But as with any powerful tool, there are definitely challenges that retailers need to think about as they embrace AI.
Oh, absolutely. One thing the report really stressed is the need for something called explainable AI. Basically, it's not enough for an algorithm to make a decision. We need to understand why.
Explainable AI. That's interesting. Why is that so important, especially for retail? I think we need to dig into that a bit more.
Yeah, it all comes down to trust and transparency. Explainable AI is about being able to see inside the AI's decision-making process, not just taking its output blindly.
So it's like having a window into how the AI is thinking rather than treating it like a mysterious black box.
Exactly. And this transparency is super important for building trust, both with customers and everyone within the company. Let's say a retailer's AI is deciding which customers get special discounts or early access to products. Without transparency, people might feel like those decisions are unfair or even that they're biased.
That makes a lot of sense. Customers want to know they're being treated fairly. And for retailers, having that insight into the AI's reasoning can help them make sure it's working as intended.
Exactly. And explainable AI isn't just about fairness and perception, it's also crucial for good decision-making within the company. Retailers need to have confidence in the insights their AI is giving them, especially when making big decisions about pricing or inventory.
It sounds like explainable AI is about accountability as much as it is about transparency, making sure those AI systems are working within clearer guidelines and that their decisions can be understood.
Yeah, you got it. And this brings us to the bigger concept of AI governance, which the report highlights as a must-have for retailers.
Yeah.
It's not enough to just use AI tools. You need clear policies and frameworks to guide how you develop and use AI responsibly.
Okay, so AI governance, that sounds pretty involved. What are some of the key things retailers should be focusing on when creating these frameworks?
Well, it all starts with setting clear ethical guidelines for how AI can be used. Retailers need to define what responsible AI means for them, addressing things like data privacy, bias in algorithms, and transparency. It's about setting boundaries and making sure everyone understands the rules.
It's like creating a code of conduct for AI to make sure it's being used in a way that benefits everyone.
Exactly. And you also need clear accountability for any decisions made by AI. If an AI system does something that has a big impact, who's responsible? Having clear lines of responsibility is crucial for minimizing risk and making sure AI is being used ethically.
So even as AI gets more independent, it still needs human oversight.
Absolutely. And another critical element is having a strong process for testing and auditing these AI systems. You need to thoroughly evaluate them before you deploy them to catch any potential biases, errors, unintended consequences. Ongoing monitoring and auditing can help make sure those AI systems are doing what they're supposed to.
It sounds like building a solid AI governance framework is a pretty multifaceted challenge. But I imagine there are a lot of challenges for retailers trying to implement these frameworks, especially with technology changing so fast.
Oh, you're definitely right. There are challenges. One of the biggest is that there aren't really any established standards or best practices for AI governance yet. It's a relatively new field, so there's a lot of uncertainty about what good AI governance really looks like for retail.
So it's like trying to create a roadmap for uncharted territory. How can retailers navigate this uncertain landscape and come up with effective AI governance strategies?
Well, the good news is that there are more and more resources and organizations popping up to help retailers with this. Industry groups, government agencies, even AI ethics experts are working on guidelines and frameworks. Retailers can adapt those to their specific needs and situation. Collaboration and knowledge sharing are key here.
So retailers don't have to figure this out all alone. They can learn from others who are facing the same challenges.
Exactly. It's all about staying informed, talking to each other, and being willing to adapt as the field of AI governance evolves. The important thing is to approach AI with a mindset of continuous learning and a commitment to doing it responsibly.
That's a really great point. AI is constantly changing, so retailers need to be ready to adapt their strategies. And it's not just about keeping up with the technology, it's about being aware of what society expects and how ethical norms are changing. What might have been okay a few years ago might not be acceptable today.
Precisely. Retailers need to be really tuned in to what their customers, employees, and the wider community are saying about AI. It's about building trust and showing that you're committed to using AI in a way that benefits everyone.
Okay, so we've talked about explainable AI and the importance of AI governance, but there's another big thing to consider, and that's the impact of AI on the people who work in retail. It's a topic that always sparks a lot of discussion, right? Will robots and algorithms end up replacing human jobs in the retail sector?
It's a valid concern, and the report definitely acknowledges that. It says that AI will probably lead to some job displacement, but it also emphasizes that AI can create new roles and make existing ones better. It's all about finding the right balance and managing this transition carefully.
So it's not as simple as robots versus humans.
Nope, it's much more nuanced than that. Think of it this way. AI can take over those repetitive, boring tasks, freeing up human workers to focus on things that require creativity, empathy, problem solving. Instead of spending hours doing manual inventory checks, a worker could use AI tools to quickly find any shortages. Then they can focus on more strategic stuff, like working with suppliers or figuring out the best product placement.
So it's about using AI to empower workers, not replace them. But that means we need to invest in training and upskilling, right? Workers will need new skills to work effectively alongside AI and take on those more complex roles.
You're absolutely right. And it's up to retailers to support their workforce through this change, investing in training programs, creating opportunities for professional development, fostering a culture of continuous learning. It's about giving employees the skills they need to succeed in a workplace where AI is everywhere.
It's easy to get caught up in the excitement of new technology, but we can't forget about the human side of things. The success of AI in retail depends on how well companies integrate it into their workforce. It's about creating an environment where both humans and machines can do their best.
I totally agree. It's not just about technical skills, it's also about building a culture of collaboration and trust. When workers see AI as a tool that helps them, not a threat, they're more likely to embrace it and use it creatively.
This brings up a really interesting question that the report touched on. How is the role of the retail worker going to change in this AI-powered world? If AI is handling things like inventory, customer service, even recommendations, What does that mean for the traditional jobs like cashiers, salespeople, store managers?
It's a question that we're still figuring out, but one thing is becoming clear. The role of the retail worker is shifting towards a more strategic, human-centric approach. It's all about delivering those exceptional customer experiences.
I love that idea. It's like going back to the roots of retail, focusing on building relationships and understanding customer needs. AI can handle the transactions and data, but it's the human touch that creates a truly memorable shopping experience.
Exactly. Imagine a future where retail workers are more like personal shoppers or style advisors. They can guide customers through a curated selection of products, offer personalized recommendations, create a really unique experience.
That sounds amazing. It's like blending high tech with high touch.
Absolutely. And this shift isn't just happening in physical stores, it's happening online too. Think about the rise of virtual stylists, personalized shopping assistants, even AI chatbots that can offer expert advice. It's all about creating a seamless and personalized experience that combines the convenience of technology with the human element.
So it's not about replacing humans with robots, it's about finding ways for them to work together.
Exactly. The real power of AI in retail is about empowering human workers to do what they do best, connecting with customers, giving expert advice, and creating those special moments that make shopping truly enjoyable.
This has been such a fascinating look at how AI is shaping the future of retail. We've talked about explainable AI, AI governance, and the changing role of the retail worker.
But there's more to come. When we get back for part two, we'll dive into some of the more futuristic predictions from the report. We'll explore things like agentic AI and the growing role of robotics in retail and CPG. It's a glimpse into a world where the lines between online and physical shopping are getting blurrier and blurrier.
Sounds like we're headed into some mind-blowing territory. Until then, dear listeners, think about this. What's your ideal mix of AI and human interaction in your own shopping experiences? We'll be back soon to explore those possibilities together.
Welcome back to our deep dive into AI's growing role in retail and CPG.
Before the break, we were getting into explainable AI, which this report says is super important for using AI responsibly. Can you break down what explainable AI actually means, like in a practical way, and why it matters so much for retailers?
It's all about transparency, really, making sure we understand how these AI systems are reaching their conclusions.
Hmm.
It's not enough to just see the result, like what the algorithm decides. We need to be able to trace the logic, see what factors it considered, understand why it made a specific choice.
So it's like instead of this mysterious black box that spits out answers, we can actually see how the AI is thinking.
Exactly. And that transparency is key for building trust with customers and within the company itself. Imagine a retailer using AI to decide who gets exclusive discounts or early access to limited products. If there's no transparency, people might think those decisions are unfair or even biased.
Yeah, I can see that. Customers want to know they're being treated fairly and that decisions are made transparently. And for the retailer, understanding how the AI is reasoning can help them make sure it's working the way it should.
Absolutely. And explainable AI isn't just about fairness and perception. It's crucial for making smart decisions within the company, too. Retailers need to be confident in the insights their AI systems are giving them, especially when it comes to big decisions like pricing or managing inventory.
So it's like explainable AI is about making sure the AI is accountable for its decisions as well as being transparent.
You got it. And that leads to this bigger idea of AI governance, which the report stresses is essential for retailers using AI responsibly. It's not enough to just have the latest AI tools. You need clear policies, frameworks, and oversight to make sure AI is being developed and used ethically.
AI governance. Okay, that sounds like a big undertaking. What are the main things retailers should focus on when building these frameworks?
It starts with clear ethical guidelines for how AI can be used. Retailers need to define what responsible AI means for their organization. Things like data privacy, how to prevent bias in algorithms, and ensuring transparency. It's like setting boundaries for the AI, making sure everyone in the company knows those boundaries.
So it's like a code of conduct for AI to make sure it's used in a way that benefits everyone.
Exactly. And you also need clear lines of responsibility. When an AI system makes a decision, especially one with significant consequences, who's ultimately accountable? Defining those roles is crucial for managing risk and using AI ethically.
So even as AI gets more and more capable, we still need humans involved, making sure things are running smoothly.
Absolutely. Another critical element is rigorous testing and auditing. You need to thoroughly evaluate AI systems before they're put into action. identify any potential biases, errors, or unintended consequences, and then ongoing monitoring and auditing to make sure they're performing as expected.
It sounds like building a robust AI governance framework is a multifaceted challenge for sure, but I can imagine there are even more challenges for retailers trying to implement these frameworks, especially when the technology is evolving so rapidly.
Oh yeah, there are definitely challenges. One of the biggest is that there aren't really any universally accepted standards or best practices for AI governance yet. It's such a new field. There's still a lot of uncertainty about what good AI governance really looks like in the context of retail.
It's like trying to create a roadmap when you don't even know what the terrain looks like yet. So, how can retailers navigate this, kind of uncharted territory and create effective AI governance strategies?
The good news is there are more and more resources and organizations popping up to help retailers with this. You've got industry groups, government agencies, and even AI ethics experts who are starting to develop guidelines and frameworks. Retailers can adapt those to their specific needs and situation. Collaboration and sharing knowledge are super important here.
So, retailers don't have to figure this out all alone. They can learn from each other, share best practices, that sort of thing.
Exactly. It's about staying informed, talking to each other, and being willing to adapt as the field of AI governance evolves. The key is to approach AI with this mindset of continuous learning and a commitment to using it responsibly.
That's such a good point. AI is constantly changing, so retailers need to be adaptable, right? It's not just about keeping up with the technology, it's about understanding how societal expectations are shifting and how ethical norms are evolving. Something that might have been considered okay a few years ago might not be acceptable today.
You're absolutely right. Retailers need to be really in tune with their customers, employees, and the wider community. Understanding their concerns and expectations around AI, it's about building trust and demonstrating a commitment to using AI in a way that benefits everyone.
Okay, so we've covered explainable AI and the importance of AI governance, but there's another big elephant in the room, and that's the impact of AI on the people who work in retail. It's a topic that always seems to generate a lot of debate. Are robots and algorithms going to steal all the jobs in retail?
It's a valid question and one that the report directly addresses. It acknowledges that AI will probably lead to some job displacement, but it also emphasizes the potential for AI to create new roles and actually enhance existing ones. It's all about finding that balance and managing this transition thoughtfully.
So it's not as simple as robots taking over, there's more to it than that.
Exactly. Think of it this way. AI can handle those repetitive, mundane tasks, freeing up human workers to focus on more creative, strategic, and engaging work. Instead of spending hours on manual inventory checks, a worker could use AI-powered tools to quickly identify any shortages. Then, they can focus on collaborating with suppliers, strategizing on product placement, things that require more critical thinking.
So it's not about replacing human workers, it's about empowering them with AI as a tool. But that also means we need to invest in training and helping people adapt to these new ways of working, right?
You're spot on. It's up to retailers to support their workforce through this transition, investing in training programs, creating opportunities for professional development, building a culture of continuous learning. It's about giving employees the skills they need to thrive in a workplace where AI is becoming more and more integrated.
We often get so excited about shiny new technology that we forget about the people who will be most affected by these changes. The success of AI in retail really hinges on how well companies integrate AI into their workforce and create an environment where both humans and machines can excel.
Absolutely. It's not just about technical skills and training. It's also about fostering a culture of collaboration and trust between human workers and these AI systems. When workers see AI as something that can help them do their jobs better, they're much more likely to embrace it and find creative ways to leverage it.
This leads to a really interesting question the report touched upon, and that's how the role of the retail worker will evolve in this AI-powered world. If AI is handling things like inventory, customer service, even making product recommendations, what does that mean for the traditional roles of cashiers, salespeople, and store managers?
It's a question we're still figuring out, but one thing's becoming clear. The role of the retail worker is becoming more strategic, more focused on the human element of the experience.
I like that. It's almost like a return to the roots of retail, where it's all about building relationships, understanding customer needs, providing truly personalized service.
Got it.
Let the AI handle the transactions and data analysis, but it's the human touch that creates that special connection.
Precisely. Imagine a future where retail workers are more like personal shoppers or style advisors, guiding customers through a carefully curated selection of products, offering truly tailored recommendations, creating a unique and enjoyable experience.
Now that's a shopping experience I can get behind. It's like the best of both worlds, high tech and high touch.
Exactly. And this shift isn't just happening in stores, it's happening online too. Think about the rise of virtual stylists, personalized shopping assistants, AI-powered chatbots that offer expert advice. It's about creating a seamless and personalized shopping journey that combines the convenience of technology with the human touch.
So it's not about replacing humans with robots. It's about finding ways for them to work together in a way that benefits everyone.
Couldn't have said it better myself. The real potential of AI in retail is in empowering those human workers to do what they do best, connecting with customers, providing expert advice, creating those special moments that make shopping enjoyable.
This has been a fascinating discussion about the trends shaping the future of AI in retail. We've covered explainable AI, the importance of AI governance, and the changing role of the retail worker.
But our exploration doesn't end here. When we return for the final part of our deep dive, we'll explore some of the more futuristic predictions from this report. Things like agentic AI and the growing role of robotics in both retail and CPG. It's a glimpse into a future where the lines between online and physical shopping become even blurrier.
Sounds like we're headed into some seriously mind-bending territory. But before we go, dear listeners, we want you to ponder this. What's your ideal blend of AI and human interaction in your own shopping experiences? Think about it. We'll be back soon to explore those possibilities together.
All right, welcome back to our deep dive. We're wrapping up our look at the 2025 AI trends in retail and CPG. We've already seen how AI is changing the game, but this report takes us even further into the future with predictions that, well, they almost sound like something from a sci-fi movie. Yeah, it really does feel like we're just scratching the surface of what AI can do. This report paints this picture of AI becoming, well, almost independent, having so much more capability. One of the most fascinating concepts is this agentic AI, which they predict is going to be huge in the coming years.
Agentic AI, it does have a certain futuristic ring to it, right?
Yeah.
So break it down for us. What exactly is agentic AI and how is it going to shake things up in the world of retail?
Think of it like AI with, a higher level of independence. We're used to AI that follows instructions, analyzes data, offers suggestions, right?
Yeah.
But agentic AI goes beyond that. It's about AI agents that can actually operate on their own with very little human input.
So instead of just reacting to commands, these AI agents would be making decisions and taking actions themselves, like almost like little digital entrepreneurs running around in the retail world.
Uh-huh. That's a great analogy. Imagine an AI agent in charge of a retailer's online advertising campaigns. It could analyze market trends, adjust bids, optimize ad creatives, even find new target audiences, all without needing someone to constantly check in and give instructions.
That's pretty mind-blowing, I have to admit. It's like having a whole team of marketing experts working 24/7, always adapting and tweaking things to get the best results.
Exactly. And it doesn't stop there. Think about agentic AI negotiating with suppliers, getting the best prices and delivery terms, or personalizing the online shopping journey for every single customer, managing in-store robots, even, designing completely new products based on what it learns about customer preferences and trends.
Wow, the possibilities are really endless. But, as exciting as it sounds, I can't help but think about the potential downsides. What kind of concerns come up when we're talking about AI with this level of autonomy?
Well, yeah, one of the biggest concerns is making sure these AI agents act ethically responsibly. When you give AI that much independence, you need strong safeguards to prevent, well, unintended consequences. Imagine an AI agent so focused on sales that it starts using, pushy or even manipulative marketing tactics, or one that prioritizes efficiency in the supply chain but ignores worker safety or environmental concerns.
So it's not enough to just make these AI agents smart. You also have to make sure they're, well, ethical, right? Their goals need to be aligned with human values.
Exactly. And that's where those concepts we talked about before, explainable AI and AI governance, become even more important. Retailers need to have those strong frameworks in place, those oversight mechanisms, to make sure that agentic AI is always operating ethically within those clearly defined boundaries.
It all comes back to trust, doesn't it? We need to be able to understand why the AI is making certain decisions.
Absolutely. And another challenge I see is that retail companies are going to need a whole new set of skills and expertise. As these AI agents take on more and more complex tasks, companies are going to need people who can design, develop, implement, and manage those systems effectively.
So it's not just about using the AI tools, it's about having the right people in place to handle all this, right?
Right. We're already seeing a growing need for data scientists, AI engineers, AI ethicists even. But as agentic AI becomes more common, we'll need even more specialized roles like AI trainers to teach those agents how to learn and adapt, AI auditors to make sure they're functioning ethically, maybe even, AI psychologists to understand and manage how humans and AI systems interact with each other.
It's fascinating to think about how different the retail workforce of the future is going to look. It's not just about those traditional retail jobs anymore. It's about a whole new generation of tech-savvy professionals who can really harness the power of AI to drive innovation.
Yeah, absolutely. And speaking of innovation, let's not forget about robotics. The report says robotics are going to be even more deeply integrated into retail, both in physical stores and behind the scenes in the supply chain.
We talked about those smart warehouses and AI-powered logistics earlier, but it sounds like robotics are going to be a much bigger part of the customer experience, too.
Exactly. Imagine walking into a store and being greeted by a robot. They could offer product information, help you check out. Think about robots roaming the aisles, keeping an eye on inventory, alerting staff to spills, even entertaining customers while they wait.
Wow. So robots aren't just going to be behind the scenes anymore. They're going to be interacting directly with customers.
That's right. And it's not just about efficiency either. Robots can enhance the customer experience in ways we haven't even thought of yet. Imagine a robot that can uh, mix a personalized fragrance based on your preferences or create a custom piece of jewelry using 3D printing right there in the store.
That really does blur the lines between the physical and digital worlds, doesn't it? Creating those unique experiences, a sense of wonder. Robots can definitely play a part in that.
Absolutely. But it's important to think carefully about how we integrate robotics to retail, right? We need to make sure they enhance the human experience, not take away from it. It's about finding that right balance where robots and humans can work together harmoniously.
It all comes back to that idea, doesn't it? It's not about replacing humans, it's about finding ways for humans and machines to work together to create something better.
I couldn't agree more. So, as we wrap up our deep dive into this report, it's clear that AI isn't just a passing trend, it's fundamentally changing how retail works. And that pace of change is only going to get faster from here on out.
Well, dear listeners, as you navigate the ever evolving world of retail, keep an eye out for how AI is shaping your experience. Sometimes in subtle ways, sometimes not so subtle. And remember, the future of retail is being created right now, and we all have a role to play in shaping it.
Until next time, happy shopping.